Talking about building communities, it's my pleasure to introduce John Chant, President of the Rotary Club of Huron Township, his fellow Rotarian Rod Hopper, to hear about 12 in 12, or the subtitle, How to Celebrate Your 75th Anniversary.
Quite nervous here. This is the first time I'm talking in front of such a large crowd of such prominent people, but bear with me. Good morning. My name is John Chant with the Huron Township Rotary. We are 3 miles south of Detroit Metro Airport with 23 members. A year and a half ago, I joined the Rotary and have met more caring, giving, prominent people in the last year and a half than I have in my last 10 years of life. I commend you on that. Every year we have reoccurring events funded by the proceeds from the year-long selling of raffle tickets for the Harley, which has been going on for over 20 years. Each year the proceeds get less and less, so I am asking you if you know of any festivals or events where we could show up and sell tickets that would be appreciated. Plus, we just happen to have a few tickets here if anybody's interested. In October, the raffle is held at our community apple festival, and the tickets prices are $5 for one or $5 for 20. Some of the projects that this raffle funds for our club, which is a yearly events that we sponsor, are 10 high school scholarships, outdoor challenge for the high school students, elementary school literacy. We support the public libraries, the senior citizens, the Good Fellows, maintenance of our Veterans Memorial, and just recently reestablished our local Explorers Police Department. Once again, Rod and I have tickets if you're interested. Now for the main reason that we're here. 2014 was our celebration of 75 years of existence as a club. This past year, we went a few extra miles to celebrate this milestone of our 75th anniversary. This project was spearheaded by our semi-retired educator and vice president, Rod Hopper. The final labeling of these events were called 12 for 12, meaning 12 projects in 12 months. To continue on in this presentation, I give and I applaud Mr. Hopper for his efforts.
Good morning. My goodness. Well, that's the Peace Project is quite an act to follow, but we're going to give it our best shot. What a year we had. Our 75th anniversary celebration was very much like probably most of your celebrations were. We had a very nice dinner and a lot of things that promoted us to us, and that was a lot about self, and there's nothing wrong with that at the right time. But we wanted to kick the service component up a notch, so we decided to do 12 service projects in 12 months. Some big, some small, some local, some district, and some international. But we did all these with an obligation that we weren't about to let our current projects go by the wayside. So all of our recurring projects were done on schedule, on time, and with full budget. Now we're a club of 23 people. You heard Jim Brandstetter last night talk about teamwork. I'm here to tell you this would never have happened without full engagement of the club. There were 12 opportunities for chairmanships, 12 opportunities for worker bees, and just a boatload of stuff that had to get done. Each of the 12 projects had a press release that went out to the local papers and a cable television exposure event. But this was rubber hits the road service. I'm going to tell you about the 12 projects, and in no particular order. Our first project started around the time we were considering what we were going to do. The Downriver Senior Alliance came to our community and said, you have seniors who are shut-ins, and there's no Meals on Wheels Christmas Day. So we decided, well, by golly, we'll see if we can do something about that. We provided 75 Meals on Wheels, so to speak, through the Downriver Senior Alliance to senior shut-ins on Christmas Day. Our second project, again, involves senior citizens. It was a fraud prevention program. Now, the fraud prevention program is put on by the Better Business Bureau. We facilitated their coming out. We did all of the lunch and entertainment kind of stuff. But the Better Business Bureau did a fraud prevention program for our seniors that included in-person fraud, telephone fraud, mail, and electronic fraud. And by the way, that presentation is available to any club that wants it. All you have to do is call the Better Business Bureau. They'll be glad to work with you. Third, we decided that we wanted to put a copy of our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our Declaration of Independence in the hands of every U.S. history student in the township. Now, that's in our Huron School District and St. Stephen's and St. John's parochial schools. So each U.S. history student got a copy of that. Our fourth project was to buy a defibrillator for our host church. And while that may just seem like a throw some money at it project, there was a method to our madness. We worked in cooperation with the Huron Township Fire Department. Our church is one of those venues in town that hosts a lot of different events, so it just made sense. And then our entire club was trained in the use of that defibrillator. If you know the members of our club, you know that's not such a bad idea. Our fifth project, we planted 75 trees in the community. We chartered 2 Boy Scout Explorer troops. One is called Outdoor Challenge, and the other is our new Police Department Explorers troop. The Outdoor Challenge troop is the one that kind of spearheaded this for us. And in cooperation with the Department of Environmental Quality, we planted 75 trees in the township. And if you ever get anything from DEQ, you get a boatload of stuff. So there was a bunch of trees that went outside as well. Our sixth project, near and dear to me because I spent some time in the volunteer fire service, was to buy 75 smoke detectors and 75 carbon monoxide detectors to be donated to the community. Now, these were distributed by the fire department in the community in cooperation with Kidd Fire Extinguisher Company, and they were distributed free of charge to anybody that needed it. Next project to tell you about was 75 pints of blood. It was a time when the Red Cross was calling for help. We decided to do a blood drive, and this one may become a recurring project for us. 4th of July celebration at the Veterans Monument that we own and maintain in New Boston was done in cooperation with the Historical Society. Our junior high school sent the band, which in the middle of summer is no small task, and that was pretty cool. And the veterans organizations, the VFW and American Legion, joined. After the celebration at the monument, everybody walked down to our township's Historical Society house for an ice cream social, where as a diabetic, I was not allowed to participate. But I did anyway. Ninth project was a boatload of books. In addition to our normal literacy support, which is pretty sound, we donated over $2,000 worth of books to our 4 local elementary school libraries for them to use as they chose. Now, my wife, a retired librarian, has one of those Scholastic Book Card Company cards. So we were able to go in on one of their clearance sales and we cleaned up. We took these books to, or the project chair took the books to the schools. The schools chose to use them for guided reading, skill level libraries, and a couple of the principals chose to use them just as behavioral incentives, and that was pretty neat. Another project in the community was Freestyle. Now, Freestyle is a local clothing bank that accepts donations of gently used clothing, and then once or twice a year, they set up in the basement of our church, our host church, and people from around the community or anywhere can come in and get clothes if they need clothes. No questions asked, no problems at all, and it's pretty well attended. But we have a hard time getting gently used underclothes and socks. So we decided to take that on as a project, and the club donated just a boatload of new, they reminded me to say new, underwear and socks to that project. This one has become a recurring project for us. Next project I'm going to tell you about we are especially proud of. The Huron Township Rotary Club has sponsored its first outbound Rotary Youth Exchange student. She is in Thank you. She's in Norway even as we speak. Her mother has joined our club. She wants to stay in Norway, but Mom says she has to come home, so she'll be home in July. And our last project, our biggest project, and chaired by our president, John Chant, was a Purple Pinky initiative for polio eradication done in cooperation with the Huron schools. And this thing started in the Huron schools, and it just went, it just exploded. Many local businesses wanted in on the action. The fire department, the police department, township government. We wound up working with the International and, of course, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and their cooperation in polio eradication. One day in the schools, tying purple ribbons onto the pinkies of our students, superintendent was a little reticent about dye, so we decided to go with purple ribbons. It worked out fine. Everybody was happy with it. With the matching monies we collected, we were able to vaccinate 5,794 children. So I think you can see, for us, this was a year on wide open throttle. Our 12 in 12 project, the tentacles of that project reached into so many avenues in the community and the country and the world, and it helped a lot of folks. But I got to tell you, from a purely selfish point of view, it helped our club the most because it brought pride and a sense of purpose. And what we did was prove to ourselves that service above self is alive and well. Thanks for this opportunity to share.
Happy 75th to Huron Township, and congratulations on their 12 in 12.